Okay, in this video we're going to look at creating an equation from a table of values. So in the past videos we have looked at how to create an equation from a written description where you're going to identify your rate of change, the value that's doing the multiplying, and that other value that's added on, which is called your initial value. And we looked at how to create the table of values and we looked at how to graph it. So this time I'm going to give you the table of values and we're going to look at how can we create the equation from just the table. So the first thing I want you to do, let's look at this first one here. I've got hours in the independent, cost in the dependent. First thing I want you to do is I want you to calculate the first difference. So you want to look at that pattern of the dependent values. And you can see there it's going up by 20. Then what I want you to do, I want you to look at the independent and I want you to look at the scale here. So you can see here they're all going up by 1. So your rate of change, I'm going to write this down here, is calculated by taking the first difference divided by what I like to call the independent scale. So in that first one there, my rate of change is 20. Excuse me, my first difference is 20. Sorry about that. And my dependent scale, what it was going up by, my independent scale was 1. So again, there's where I got the 20, and there's where I got the 1. So 20 divided by 1 is just 20. So that's my rate of change. So this could represent the cost for number of hours worked. So if you have a worker over at the house doing something in the garden or something like that. So what I want you to look at now, I want you to look at this guide here at the top. I'm going to highlight it. This is how you're going to put your equation together. This is the same thing we did when we were looking at the written description. So it says dependent. So we know dependent is the second one. So we're going to use that variable that they use there, cost. Equal sign. Now independent, so we're talking about the variable. This is hours. Now it says independent times rate of change. Well, we just figured out our rate of change was 20. Okay, we want to put that 20 first though. So it's 20 times h. So we did that part, we did this part, okay? Just want to make sure you have rate of change before the variable. And then plus initial value. So your initial value on your table is going to be where the independent is 0. Okay, so you got to make sure that independent is 0. The one next to it's your initial value. So that is 30. So that equation is going to represent that first table. Now the second one, okay, first thing I want you to do, okay, a little bit different here. I want you to have first difference. And you see it's going up by 40. Now that I don't want you to assume is the rate of change, okay, because you need to see what they're going up by here in the independent. You can see here they were going up by tens. So when we calculate our rate of change, you can even just put rate if you want when you're doing your work. You're going to go 40 divided by 10 equals 4. So when I create this equation, okay, again, my dependent was cost. My independent was h for hours. So my rate of change is 4 times h plus my initial values. Let's look up here. Initial value is 60 because that is when the independent is 0. Oops, sorry about that. So again, those are the steps that you follow when you're going to create a table, an equation from a table of values. Next video, we're going to look at when you're given a graph.